everyone, welcome to the public relations presentation. Before we begin, I just want to tell you a bit about the fall term. My name is Haley. I'm a recruitment associate at Niagara College. So we haven't come up with an official statement yet about how we're going to deliver programs in fall 2021. We are working on it, and that statement will be delivered officially in May. So keep your eyes out. The website that is on the page here, niagaracollege.ca/COVID-19. There's a little tab that will say updates by term. In May, you will see the fall 2021 term added to that list. We are anticipating a larger increase to on-campus. However, it's just so unpredictable, so we don't know quite yet. We are maintaining that the health of our staff and students are top priority. So whatever decision we come to, we'll come to it with the guidance of the health and safety recommendations that we receive from the community. So I am now going to turn it over to Emily. She is the program coordinator for the public relations program.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Haley. And I cannot seem to control the slides. So Haley, I'll get you to move me if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Should be able to.
My name is Emily. I am the coordinator of the PR program at Niagara College. I'm here today with a couple of my incredible grads and a current student, Nicholas, who will soon to be a grad. I'm going to give you an overview of our program. We're going to get some input from our students and grads, and then I'll leave you my email at the end. I encourage you to please reach out. If anything I've shared today has piqued your interest in any way, it doesn't hurt to get a little bit more information. I'm happy to connect you to the grads and student you will meet today to get the student perspective. Whatever you need, please feel free to reach out. So the program is geared towards university graduates trying to determine what to do next. We also do accept students from some college-based programs as well. Feel free to reach out to me. We can give you that information. It is also posted on the program website. This program is an intensive hands-on program with courses designed to prepare you to enter the industry with confidence. Should any of you join us in the fall, you will hear me say about 100 times that our job is to help you get a job. Really focused on applied learning to make sure you enter the industry in April, truly ready to launch your careers. Our students participate in a 4-week internship, which is the last week of the second term, the month of April. They have the opportunity to really drive this process. We have a lot of employers. We tend to have more employers than students. And you really get to pick and choose which employer resonates with you from a geographical location, from a sector location across both Niagara and the GTA. You can move it ahead, Haley. If you wouldn't mind moving the next page, Haley.
This is the second page. Do you want me to continue?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's my apology. So the program schedule consists of fairly full days, both terms, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We do not have classes on Mondays or Fridays. A lot of our students work part-time or opt to do volunteer work or schoolwork. We are one of the only programs with the 3-day schedule. Should the program remain online in fall 2021, which as Haley said, we'll know in May, the college will announce, we do deliver our lectures live. We found that to be effective this year, so please be aware of that. We have a really incredible and strong support network of grads who join us online or when we're back in person. They act as clients, they are mentors, they're just incredible. And our grads really pay it forward and are a huge support to our program. And everything we do is focused on ensuring each student is industry ready for the internship and armed with the tools to succeed. So the program boasts an approximate 83% employment rate. We have grads working in a wide range of sectors, ranging from arts, culture, entertainment, hospitality, sports, healthcare, academic institutions, nonprofits, agencies, in-house at corporate headquarters, financial institutions, digital hubs, and government. There are so many incredible career opportunities available in public relations. In this course, in this program, you'll be introduced to strategic digital communications, effective research and writing, media relations, career search techniques, crisis communications, internal communications, corporate social responsibility, special event management. You'll learn some really great computer applications, including WordPress, InDesign, video shooting and editing, and a lot more. The website, the link to our program page is below. And then on the last slide, you will see, I believe, my contact information. I encourage you to please reach out if you have any questions, would like to learn a little bit more, or would like me to connect you to a current or past student. Feel free to follow us on Twitter. Thank you so much for listening. Now I'd like to throw it over to my amazing grads. I'm going to first introduce Patricia Bernardo, who is a grad from the year of 2019-20. Patricia is currently working in the communications department for Niagara Health. Patricia, thank you for being here. And I would like to ask you if you could share your current role and how the program prepared you for industry.
Sure. Thanks, Emily. So as Emily mentioned, I work for the Corporate Communications Department at Niagara Health, which is the hospital system for the Niagara region. So we operate 5 hospital sites throughout the region, our biggest one being in St. Catharines. We also have Welland, Niagara Falls, and some satellite sites as well. And we have over 4,000 employees, staff, and over 500 physicians. And then before COVID, quite a few hundred volunteers as well. So it's quite a large organization. And our corporate communications department really essentially provides support to the entire organization for all of our communications campaigns and strategies. As you can imagine, a lot of it is very COVID focused right now, but in terms of some of the areas that we do, so we have quite an extensive internal communications role right now, also external communications, so a lot of media relations, social media management. We have a digital communications coordinator, that manages all of our graphics, our website, an internal website that we call, it's called SourceNet. So there's a lot of moving parts within our department, and we almost operate as like a mini PR agency for Niagara Health, because on top of some of the campaigns that we run on our own, we provide support to the VP of strategy for communicating out our strategic plan and initiatives, and then a lot of other sites and services will come to us to help them communicate some of the things that they have going on. So our COVID-19 assessment centers and how does one get tested, as well as our vaccine clinic. So a lot of what I focus on specifically in my role is providing support in a lot of those areas. But for me, I manage our social media channels. So everything that we have going on, want to share that externally as well as putting on some of those campaigns. And a big part of what I'm focusing right now is the COVID-19 vaccine clinic. So all of the communications related to that. So there's a lot going on at all times. But what I can honestly say is I've used, I think, every single one of my classes in my role right now, including Emily had mentioned there was a research course that we did. And a lot of people, research doesn't always sound fun and everything, but it's definitely necessary even in a communications and public relations role. And so I worked with my chief communications officer back in the fall. We did a full survey campaign for all of our internal employees, as well as externally, kind of working with our community partners, just residents in the community, about how we're doing communicating information about COVID-19. So that has really kind of helped me. I didn't think that I would be using that, and then I ended up using it in my role. And then a big thing as well is since I started, I've taken more and more on for social media strategy. And so that was a really big driver of me being able to add that to my portfolio, was that what I learned in the social media strategy class from the PR program really helped me kind of develop a full plan and then manage that fully for our team. So, it certainly has prepared me for everything that I needed, but I didn't realize how much it would prepare me for just everything that's going on. Obviously, we didn't plan for this pandemic, and a lot of this kind of crisis communications is a big focus for Niagara Health right now. And I'm so grateful that I took the program, and every professor is really still connected. A lot of them are still connected with the industry. So you're kind of getting, what's relevant right now so that you can apply that knowledge, gain those skills, and be able to implement it right away to whatever role you go into after you graduate. So that's kind of been my experience. Is literally every single course that I took in my PR program, I've already used. And I will have been at Niagara Health for a year next week. So.
Wow, a year already. Thank you so much, Patricia. That was such great insight. Next up, I'd like to introduce Serena Stewart from the class of 2018-19. Thanks for being here, Serena. Could you share with whoever's watching your journey since you were in the program, your career path and where you are today?
Yeah, so basically I feel like I've had kind of like an all-around experience when it comes to my career path outside of the program. So as Emily mentioned, there is an internship aspect to the program. So during my time, I was able to work at an agency that is actually, well, Stephen, that maybe you'll meet depending on if you take the program or not. He is a teacher at the program. He also works there as well. So it was nice to start early, actually, rather than in April. We started in January at Enterprise. And I was able to enjoy my time there while the program was going on, but also after the fact. So I was there for about 6 months because the office was moving to Hamilton and I didn't want to do a commute. So then I was a social media coordinator at a smaller agency in the region. I was there for a little bit, and then I moved to another role, which wasn't actually in PR, but similarly to what Patricia said, I was able to use a lot of the skills that I had learned from the program, whether that was Excel, which I never thought I would have a love for Excel, but I do now. And I was able to, have relationship building skills, and a lot of the relationship building that you do in the program, whether it's with your peers or whether it's at your internship or with your teachers, I found that extremely beneficial. And I believe I was at that position for about 8 or 9 months, right before COVID hit. And then probably about a week before COVID hit, I found my current position. So I'm working at United Way, Niagara. I am a development officer for individual giving, which is just a fancy way of saying that I work in fundraising, and I do a lot of donor relations. So again, with that relationship building, working within the community, soliciting for donors that we currently have or new ones, and really just trying to engage people, especially during COVID, because, it is difficult when you're not able to meet with people. At my current role, I find that it's very different day to day. So today I am getting packages being stuffed and sent out, whereas yesterday I was in Excel for 8 hours and doing a lot of data and research stuff like that and cleaning up. I remember earlier this month, I was looking over collateral for marketing purposes, or tomorrow I could be calling a donor to thank them. So I find that a lot of the things that we learned within the program can definitely translate to a PR job, but also if you're not finding a traditional PR role, whether that's media relations, like a communications coordinator, or anything like that. So it's really great that it does translate accordingly. And I really think that the skills that I've learned in the program definitely helped me. And I know that they will definitely move me forward as I continue to grow within my current position, and at some point when I do move on to another one.
Thank you so much, Serena, for that insight. Next up, I'd like to introduce Nicholas Mertens. He is a current student in the program. He is halfway through his 4-week internship at Enterprise, where Serena actually interned and worked. And I'd like Nicholas, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about the online experience, because we don't know what will happen in September. This program could be delivered online to start off the year. We're not sure. So if you could touch on that, Nicholas, and also how your internship is going, that would be wonderful.
You know what, Emily, if the program has to go online again, I don't think that's a problem at all. I don't think the PR program could have done a better job adapting and setting. It's a lot easier to learn PR online than it is to learn to weld or cook. So I definitely think there is an advantage to taking a program like public relations online. Part of that is really reflective of the industry at large at the moment. Most communications professionals are also working from home if they can, and the challenges that go along with that, be it web calls and engaging people and breaking through the clutter and all the sorts of skills that are really important to public relations and communications work are all at their height right now online. So I feel like my experience in the online program is in fact really reflective of what working in the field is like. Things like group work online are a little different. Getting help from your peers, but and your instructors, but at the same time, it gives a lot of freedom. I live in Hamilton, and saved several hours off of my life commuting to Welland for the program. And if I wanted to just have a quick chat with an instructor instead of having to work around office hours and commute there and talk, it was easy to just hop on a call and have that kind of connection. And similarly, I think it allowed for way more guest speakers than you'd typically see in the program, which, as I learned more and more about the starting of a new career, networking is incredibly helpful. And to have a direct line to a lot of incredible grads that are also deeply interested in helping students because they understand how hard it is to start a career, I think has been worth all the effort and headaches that go along with trying to chase Zoom links around the internet and stuff like that. I would highly recommend a nice chair and a monitor and a good stretching routine. But otherwise, I thought it was great. As far as the internship's concerned, up until the lockdown order, which was different from the circuit breaker, which was different from the gray zone, apparently, where we weren't supposed to leave the house. I had the option to go into the office if I felt like it. And it's kind of more like a library. They gave me a key and said I can go there when I want, if it's helpful. So sometimes it's nice to pop in and work with one or two colleagues that are also there, but there's also no pressure to not work remotely. Most of the company is working remotely, so it doesn't really matter. There's all sorts of ways to, we hop on calls if we have to have if I have to be given a lot of instruction about a task, we can just pop questions back and forth on a Slack channel. Otherwise, it's a lot of emails going back and forth, but it's pretty, it feels kind of unsupervised. They kind of just let me write a bunch of press releases and do a bunch of research and make a bunch of media lists, and everyone's happy so far. And that's what really matters in the world of agency, isn't it? So that's the experience so far. I'm sure I could work there if I wanted to, and that's kind of a discussion to be had, but I'm feeling really optimistic. I feel totally prepared for every task that I've been doing. And yeah, I'm having a great time.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad, Nicholas. And yeah, you're getting great feedback from your employer as well. So really well done. Before we wrap things up, I just wanted to ask each of you if you would recommend the program to anyone watching this video or anyone who's perhaps coming out of university and deciding what to do next. So if you could just share, would you recommend the program? And if you'd like to briefly say why, that would be great. Why don't we start with you, Serena?
Yeah, so I think that other than recommending the program, Emily, as you know, that I have actually somebody that I worked with at Enterprise who was also an intern at the time. I essentially bullied him into taking the program because I loved it so much. And I don't know if there's like one thing that I could take away because there's just so many different things that I loved about the program. But I would definitely recommend it. And the one thing that I absolutely loved coming from a university background is just that, you know, you get to build these relationships with your teachers and they actually know your name. You're not just whatever student number you are. And hopefully you can have in class, because I definitely found that the friendships that I made in the program have definitely been like long-term friendships or just connections that I've made with past peers, you know, like Nicholas was saying, there is a lot of networking to this field, especially in such a small area. If whoever's watching is staying in the Niagara region, you know, you see a job posting and you might know somebody that works there. And I just find that that's something that I didn't get in university. So I would definitely recommend the program to anybody who is thinking about a career in communications or public relations.
Thank you so much. Patricia, over to you.
So I would highly recommend the program. Before I actually enrolled in the PR program, I was working in post-secondary for a while, so mainly in student engagement and student recruitment at Brock University as well as Niagara College. And then when I thought the idea popped into my head about going back to school and pursuing a graduate certificate or some sort of graduate program. I was juggling around a few different ideas. I was kind of looking at my past experience and I pulled out, you know, the aspects of that job that I liked a lot. And similar to kind of Serena's role now and what she was talking about, kind of that relationship building, that relationship management. And I did a lot of event planning as well. Those were the aspects of my previous career that I really liked. And before I even got to the public relations program, I was considering 2 other programs and then decided on public relations because it was a little bit more diverse, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made, considering that it was kind of, you know, not necessarily at the top of my list when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And then it just ended up being the perfect fit. So that's what I would really say is, you know, kind of really look at, you know, what your interests are. So if you have kind of interest in event planning and writing and, you know, relationship management and just kind of making those connections with people, the public relations program really covers a lot of that so that you're not necessarily slotted into one specific role. So, you know, if I had done the event management program at Niagara College, I would really just be an event planner. Whereas I find, you know, getting into a public relations or communications career, you can kind of diversify a little bit and slot yourself in a lot of different roles, kind of like what Serena was talking about with her path. And that's what I really loved. And so I would highly recommend that if those are some of the key things that you might be interested in, then this program provides you with a lot of that. I just loved how supportive all of the professors were. Emily still keeps in contact with me, so she's such a great support as well. Just giving you those connections to industry professionals, similar to Serena. You know, I've made such great friendships, and I was really, really close with almost pretty much everyone in my class, which was so great to kind of go through something with people that understood and you could kind of support each other, which was really great. And yeah, I mean, you know, always reach out to Emily and ask those questions and get as much information as you can. But you can definitely be fully prepared. I mean, this job that I am in right now with Niagara Health came through Emily and through this PR program. So I'm really thankful for, you know, going through that program and for them helping me make this connection and starting off my career at Niagara Health.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Well earned. And your class really, they referred to each other as family. It was really incredible seeing how cohesive and supportive your class was. It was really amazing. Nicholas, we're going to end with you because you're not quite out of the program, but you're so close and you've had an incredible year. Nicholas actually just won our top student award 2 weeks ago at our virtual grad panel event. Would you recommend the program, Nicholas? Would you do it again?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just, no, it's I have a fairly strange background that doesn't have the most linear job path, studying philosophy and critical theory at U of T before this. And I'm someone that gets bored quite easily. I've had a handful of jobs in all sorts of sectors. And I feel as though, PR has a dynamism to the work that is really fulfilling for someone like me that does get bored easily. And I can do a bunch of tasks and I can work for a bunch of different clients and do different jobs. What's also quite nice about it is, even if you're not super excited about a particular client, there is sort of the trade element to it as well, where you feel your skills getting better, and you thought of a new angle, or you're able to be creative in a way that you hadn't thought of before. So it's highly creative work, which I really enjoy. It's really strategic work, which I really enjoy. It's I think the program online has been great. Like it's given a lot of opportunities to I've freelanced my way through the program too. Like there's tons of opportunity. It's a growing field. More agencies have never been more busy than they are now, with everyone trying to get online and save their businesses and things like that. So there's a lot of people to help, and there's also a lot of ways to add meaning to your work. It's really easy to volunteer with a nonprofit, or or through any of the partners that the program has, where we volunteer ourselves as coordinators to a number of local organizations. So there's all sorts of ways to make this work really meaningful, which I think is hard in a lot of trades as well. It's easy to just kind of just do the job, but I quite enjoy that about this work. So I highly recommend the program, and the field generally. It's a great way to take advantage and bolster your skills as someone that likes to read and write and talk. I think the program favors those that ask lots of questions and make time to care and show up and be engaged. And I would prompt any future students to don't be afraid to ask questions, or feel dumb or whatever. Like it's just show up and be engaged is really important, because you're just not I don't think it's very rewarding if you don't. So
Yeah, I agree.
My piece.
Thank you so much. I want to thank the three of you who have all taken time out of their days to be here with us today. I want to thank Haley for moderating. Please reach out if anything, again, resonated with you today. Reach out, let's talk. I'll connect you to any of these three amazing people as well, if you wish. And I hope to see you in the fall. Thank you for everything.